They gave us 30 minutes. Normally they're giving 20 or 25. That means they think you're going to say something that's going to be entertaining. Do you think you can get these people to stop looking at their laptops?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah.
No, everybody says the PC is dead, but like all I see is laptops. So. Yeah.
So let's see. You're.
How many people here are on their laptop? Raise their hand if you're on a laptop.
And with that, I lost control of the interview.
How many people are just on iPads or a tablet? And how many people are just on a phone?
I'll be back in 10 minutes.
How many people are just on LSD? Raise your hand. Okay.
Oh fuck! This is going to be a good interview. So you're Marc Benioff.
Yes.
And you got this company called Salesforce that apparently is worth $21 billion. You're getting up there in the big boy range, right? You're like one of the top 5 software companies now.
We are. We're the 5th most valuable software company in the world. We're the fastest growing of the top 20 software companies. We did 37% growth on a constant currency basis in our last quarter.
Yeah, well, you're at $3 billion in revenue now, right?
This quarter, we will exceed the $3 billion annual revenue run rate.
It seems like yesterday you hit $1 billion. What was that?
That was just about 2 or 3 years ago. I don't know the exact. Yes.
Amazing.
We've had a great few years.
What is Salesforce? Like I still think of it as what place you go to put your sales contacts in, but I hear that you're doing other things now.
Well, Salesforce is a company, of course, that's really helped customers first and foremost automate their sales organizations. Yeah. But at the end of the day, we're all about helping our customers connect with their customers in new ways. Yeah. The whole opportunity to create a social front office has emerged in a much greater way than even I ever anticipated. So in the areas of sales and service and marketing, in those core areas where your company touches your customer, that's where we offer our solutions.
Well, so you've got Dreamforce next week. How many people will be there?
Dreamforce has over 70,000 people registered to attend. Yeah. And Dreamforce will be the largest vendor-led technology event ever. We will be at Moscone Center. I'd like to invite everybody here. There's a free pass available for the keynotes. If you want to attend the sessions and all of that, it's $1,000. Okay. It will be awesome. We have Richard Branson coming, Colin Powell, Jeff Immelt is the CEO of G. We have a whole day. A week from Friday, Tony Robbins is doing a motivational day, so we're doing a Tony Robbins seminar, so we can get you to walk across hot coals. So it's going to be awesome, Michael. Yeah. Tony Robbins had a seminar recently where like 20 or 30 people had to get medical attention for walking across the hot coals. Are you going to do it? We're planning to get everyone to walk across the coals.
You'll do it.
I'll do it. I've done it before, absolutely.
You've done it before?
Oh, yeah, sure.
Does it hurt?
Love Tony Robbins.
Yeah.
It's great. Totally great stuff. You haven't done it?
No.
I was in Fiji.
No. Right.
And I was just in Fiji. And I was at this hotel called Namale that Tony Robbins owns. And he took a group of us out, like 20 people, at midnight, drove the middle of the island. It's totally pitch black. Okay? We get out onto a bridge. We're in wetsuits. We look down. It's a 60-feet jump into this rushing river. Okay. And Tony Robbins is all about confronting your fears. Yeah. So then Tony gets us all paired up into like 10 groups of 2. And like Tony and I are actually the third group. And then Tony's like, okay, what you're going to do is you stand here, then jump, jump, jump. Are you guys ready? Yes, we're ready. Are you ready? Yes, we're ready. So then the first group goes, the second group goes, then the third group goes, and I'm looking down, I'm going, oh, fuck, this is going to be really unbelievable. And then Tony goes, okay, jump. And then Tony jumps, and then I hesitated about 1 or 2 seconds.
Oh, you didn't jump?
Well, I did jump about 2 seconds later, and that's actually when Tony Robbins looked up and saw me coming at him off the bridge. And that was quite extraordinary. So that was my most recent Tony Robbins adventure.
Did you land on Tony Robbins?
Well, we right into the river, and then, before you know it, you're like 50 feet down the river. It's pretty wild. Okay. I put a picture of it on my Facebook page because I knew people wouldn't believe me because it was so completely crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty wild.
It's amazing, and I talked to Reid Hoffman about being vastly wealthy yesterday. It's amazing, like the shit that like really rich people do. It's like you need like extra adrenaline to get you going. So.
Well, I was doing that when I was broke. I was always into personal development and growth and working on my skills and working on my own mind. So you don't need to have a lot of money to fly to Fiji and jump off a bridge.
No. With Tony Robbins.
No.
Let's talk about that for a second. I was going to get to it later, but we talked to Reid yesterday about vast wealth, and he talked a lot about philanthropy. He also talked about how it's pretty awesome to fly private. In your world, which one is more important?
Well, I think the best. People ask me this all the time, and I can tell you story after story on the huge amount of grace that I've received in my life, because we made a fundamental decision 13 and a half years ago when we started Salesforce that we put 1% of our equity, 1% of our profit, and 1% of all of our employees' time into a 501c3 public charity. Today, that means that we've given away more than $40 million out of our foundation. We have done 325,000, thank you, 325,000 hours of community service. We run 16,000 nonprofits, NGOs, and social entrepreneurs for free on our service. We don't charge people. We're trying to change the world. And I've also been able to give $100 million of my own money to build a new children's hospital, which is a few blocks away from here at UCSF Mission Bay. And we have a, thank you, we have a philanthropic culture and orientation, and you don't think about it that much because it's just part of what we're doing every day. But I was at a panel with Forbes about a month ago, and it was amazing for me because I was on the panel with Jim Breyer and Marc Andreessen, and then there was this incredible lady, and hopefully Forbes is going to put this panel up online, talking about this 501c3 that she runs and the charity and all that. And then they talked about, they're talking to me and I'm talking about this 111 and how it's changed my life. And then she comes back and says, oh yeah, I use the 111 and we run our whole nonprofit for free. And then she goes, but what was really interesting is one of the people that I know, he was just in Africa and he had all this HIV data. And he's like, I don't know how I'm going to get all this HIV data into a database and whatever. And he has an iPad or a phone with him. He's like, oh, I can create a free Salesforce account because I'm registered as a nonprofit. And he's able to put it all in and do the analytics. And at that point, I got this huge rush. And I just kind of felt like, wow, I was so lucky to make that decision because I'm constantly getting that grace back into my life. And I recommend, I know we have a lot of entrepreneurs here, and this is my #1 recommendation to entrepreneurs. Yes, we're going to disrupt technology, of course. Yes, we're going to change the business model. Yes, we're going to do the technology model. But don't forget about helping other people because it's so easy. And the Warren Buffett model is one model. You're 85 years old. Now you give away all your money. But up to that point, he didn't give away anything. It was one of the things his wife, he told me one of the things his wife always, said to him, oh, give away your money, give away your money. But he sees his life as a snowball. He wrote a book and it kind of, you basically end up at the end of the hill and the snowball breaks apart. And you see how big your snowball can get, and his snowball got really big. So I don't believe in that model.
Big snowball too,
I don't believe in that model. Let me tell you why before we go on. And the reason I don't believe in the model is you could give away 10% as much money during, let's say, your life because you're giving it as you go, but it's going to be far more impactful because giving away money and having impact through philanthropy is actually as hard as any of the business models that we're doing here. I'm telling you that actually doing that work is complicated. It takes time. And the other thing is the greatest assets you have are the people who work with you. So if you can enable them to help you, help your team become part of your philanthropic mission. And so if you think about all the employees, for example, in his companies, they could be doing all of that work. It's just not about writing a check.
Well, like you said, 325,000 hours, Salesforce employees donate.
Okay, we give our employees 4 hours a month or 6 days a year paid off for volunteerism. So in addition to your vacation pay, you get, which we're moving to the unlimited vacation day model, whatever, but we also give you 6 paid days for volunteerism. You can go anywhere in the world. You can do whatever you want. It's paid time off for you to go and volunteer and do something.
What if you're
And we've done that from day one.
And do you monitor it very closely? What if
We
you're
monitor it
volunteering
extremely closely, and we have apps inside the company that let people all over the world, because we're going to have 10,000 employees at the end of this year. So we have employees all over the world who don't know each other.
Yep.
So we have apps that let them find missions they're interested in,
Amazing.
join teams, go
Yep.
places, do things, do projects, and do work in whatever communities that they're doing business in. And it's very exciting, and I'm telling you, it's the great, great feeling you get, that money is never going to give you. It's the feeling that you've actually done something worthwhile.
Yeah. And like you're helping build that hospital, for example.
Fulfillment, the hospital, these are the great things that money does.
But back to the original question, flying private is kind of awesome too, right?
Flying private is great, but I'm not into owning a plane. That's not my thing. It's the best thing about being able to rent a plane, which is what we do, is if we have 15 people and we're all going to New York, or we're all going to Japan, we get to go together, work in the plane, make it happen.
You're wearing some stuff here. I see a Fitbit, and what's that on your wrist?
I'm wearing a Fitbit.
Those shoes are awesome.
Which hey, Michael, I'm like, very stylish. Fitbit, it's a big high style here. And I love these biometric devices. I have the Fitbit, I'm an investor in Fitbit.
Okay.
I also have the Nike, I love the Jawbone.
What are you wearing there?
Things.
Is that just a watch?
This is a power balance bracelet.
Okay.
Just a psychological tool, I think.
Okay.
Does everybody here know what a power balance bracelet is, basically? Yeah, okay.
I don't think anyone raised their hand.
Right. No, they do. How many people here know what a power balance bracelet is? Yeah, come on.
Oh, yeah, well, of course I know too. And those shoes?
I'm celebrating Christian Louboutin's trademark victory today. So this is their red sole. So women in the audience know the last speaker was also wearing the red sole for today's, it's the trademark victory for Christian. Only the women, approve
I'm
that.
excited. Speaking of the last speakers, there were 4 people up here on stage. I wanted to get you backstage to talk, and you wanted to watch that panel, so you watched most of it, I think.
I really like those guys. Yeah.
There were 4 companies.
Inspiring.
Yeah, the 4 companies were Cloudera, Box, Asana, and Okta.
Yes.
You've invested in a couple of those, right?
We've invested in a couple of them. We compete with a couple of them. We partner with a couple of them. And that's kind of the nature of the industry. Next week at Cloudforce, we have our Okta competitor coming out, which is Salesforce Identity. We have our Box competitor coming out, which is called Chatterbox. We have our Asana competitor, Do.com. So we are, it's competition. It's good.
So you want to kill 3 of the companies that were on stage.
What's that?
Of the 4 companies on stage, you want to kill 3 of them, and 2 of those you invested in.
Kill is not, our industry is not about the Hunger Games.
Right. You just want to put them out of business.
I don't look at business as a zero-sum game. I don't. I've never seen it play out that way in our industry.
Yeah.
And I think you innovate, you add value, you deliver value back to customers, you get value back from the world.
This is news, what you just said. Has this been talked about before?
Hey, you have to do your own due diligence, Michael.
What the Chatterbox, you said, is a Box competitor?
Chatterbox is new. Our customers have come to us and said they want a Dropbox for the enterprise.
Yeah.
They want it integrated with our platform. They want our trust model, our security model. They want to have application services. They want to be able to build apps with Force.com and do Chatterbox. They want to be able to use Heroku and do Chatterbox. They want to use it on their own.
Yeah.
So we have to step up. We have to deliver Chatterbox. Chatter is our social enterprise network product.
Yeah.
It competes with things like Yammer and Google Plus and that kind of thing, but it's integrated in our platform.
Yeah.
And it's an app dev environment as well. It's done really well. And now with Chatterbox, it gets extended with the file collaboration metaphors.
Okay. And the Okta product is called what?
Okta is a company that lets you basically do single sign-in to multiple heterogeneous enterprise apps and then have one path through for all your identity.
Yeah.
But our customers have asked us to do the same thing from our platform. So we have something called Salesforce Identity, and you can log into Concur and Workday and SAP and Oracle and manage all of your identities from within your Salesforce Identity as a service as well.
I wish right now we had a camera backstage on those guys, like just so they're like, oh shit. But luckily the
hope
pie
that
is.
they're not feeling that way because
feel great.
that's not the right way to look at business.
Yeah, it's a glass half full kind of a situation. Yeah.
You don't want fear to dominate your life, Michael. We need to bring you to Fiji and jump off a bridge.
So what else are you announcing next week at Cloudforce or Dreamforce?
Well, we have this killer conference next week, as I said, which is Dreamforce, and we have, we'll have 70,000 people at this event site. We'll probably have another 30 or 40,000 online, and we have we are basically, showing the next versions of our sales cloud. We have an incredible new capability built into that called data.com, where you can update and clean your sales records. And we have another amazing thing built right into that called the social key, where I don't know if you've ever had this experience, but it happens to me every day. I'm on Twitter, and I have a customer basically, busting me up because of your support line won't call you, this feature doesn't work. Yeah. And I click on it, and I'm like, I have no idea who this is, and I don't know how to contact them.
Right.
So I have to do like a public reply all on Twitter. Now, with the social key, basically I'm on Twitter, it helps reveal who that person is, links it back to my support database. I can create a case and escalate it and bump it into my support organization. So that'll be very, very exciting.
Oh yeah, sounds really great.
Oh yeah, it's really awesome. And our customer service product also will kind of get to a whole new level. We are introducing our marketing cloud. You probably know we just bought Radian 6 and Buddy Media. We spent more than $1 billion for those companies. And we've integrated those together to create a marketing cloud to let our customers command and control marketing. One of the really interesting things that's going on in our industry, and I'm sure you're covering it in detail here, is by 2017, CMOs, Chief Marketing Officers, will spend more than CIOs. So the opportunity to innovate in marketing is unbelievable because the budgets flowing out of these companies will be awesome, and we have a huge stake in the ground because we bought these two number one players, so we're really excited about that.
Why didn't you buy Yammer? What do you think about Yammer selling? Did you look at it? Did you pass?
I'm a huge fan of David Sachs. Okay, I met him here at this conference actually several years ago, and the product and the app and all that, I think it's good. I don't think he should have sold. I think it's a mistake. Why sell when if things are going great? Because at the end of the day, you have the opportunity to do so much more to be independent and free and make your own decisions. And I think that's not the decision that I would have made. I respect the decision that he did make. And they still have a lot of work to do on their app to make it more of a platform, but it's very good.
Did you think about buying it? I mean, when you knew it was for sale?
I did. It's just that we have done so much, and we have more than 150,000 paying Chatter networks. And our customers are so vested with Chatter that how would we bring the two together? And it's so redundant with what we have. But it's I love David.
Can we talk about some general industry topics?
I also like his CTO, Adam, as well.
Yep. Just not enough to buy them.
Right.
You think about Google and how dominant they've been in the consumer space. They're not even a competitive blip for you. What happened there?
Well, we're a good partner with Google, and they're also a very good customer of Salesforce. And in fact, we're very fortunate because Google just chose Do.com over Asana for their own internal development productivity.
Do is your Asana killer?
Do.com. You can go to Do.com and sign up for it and try it out. And Google just chose it for all of their developers. So
are you an
several
investor
thousand.
in Asana?
What's that?
Are you an investor in Asana?
I am not an investor in Asana.
Sorry, go ahead.
I am. Unless Ron Conway invested in Asana, then I guess I am. Well, I guess I am an investor in Asana. Turns out I am. Ron said I just
You're
am.
an investor in his fund.
I'm an investor in Ron, and so I'm an investor.
How does his fund do?
He's great. He's doing great. Does he not give you the numbers?
No, no, he doesn't seem to hand those out.
Well, you should put him up here and drill him on the numbers. It's very good.
All right. But anyway, sorry, we're back
I think
to
his
Google.
Fund 1 is doing a little better than Fund 2, but he's great.
Let me just go back to the quote backstage. Quote, Google has squandered the enterprise opportunity, end quote. Let's just go back to that. So.
Well, I think that, Google is an amazing company. It is a phenomenon in our industry. Larry is a great CEO. Eric is a great chairman. They'll do about $1 billion in their enterprise unit this year. And their revenue for their company, I think, is much higher than that.
Yeah.
Right? And I think that when you look at that, Google's got an incredible market capitalization. I think it's 220 billion. But their enterprise products, I think, are very good. But they have a bit of a crisis of prioritization, I think, on distribution in regard to the enterprise products.
A crisis of what?
Prioritization.
Crisis, okay.
And I don't think that they've been able to execute distribution as well as they could have in their enterprise business.
Do you have any sense that they're going to refocus or no?
I don't think so, because I think Larry and Sergey are interested in other things.
Yeah, okay. What about Facebook? What's going on with them?
I'm always conflicted about talking about Facebook because they're a huge customer of Salesforce, and they run their whole back office on us, and we also run their sales operations. They use work.com to manage all of their HR, which is the new product that we're announcing next week. We're featuring Facebook in the Dreamforce keynote. We're going back a house with them to look at work.com, how they use the Sales Cloud, all these various things with their CIO, Tim Campos. It's a great company. I think, it's been I think, obviously tough for the brand since the IPO, and IPOs can do that. We talked about that.
Yeah,
I think that's a tough thing.
You said before that maybe the timing of the IPO might have been a little weird.
I think that I think they made a couple mistakes.
Yeah.
Tactically, they probably should not have. They should not have gone with the Nasdaq. Obviously, that first day of trading, it would have been better on the New York Stock Exchange.
But you're Nasdaq, aren't you?
We're on the New York Stock Exchange.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
We've always had a good experience on the New York Stock Exchange.
You started off on the New York Stock Exchange.
We always started out on the New York Stock Exchange.
Okay.
And number two is, if I advise them, I don't think staying private as long as they did and keeping in the secondary markets as long as they did helped them, because now that they are public and they're experiencing this kind of decelerating revenue growth, it's too much of a light on them at the wrong time. And I think that if they had gone public earlier, it still would be pristine, and it would not have this huge problem hanging over it.
You think they should have gone public in
2 years ago?
2 years ago. Wow. Okay.
3 years ago.
Do you think that they'll recover from this and be a great company, or do you think that
they are a great company? Yeah. They are a great company. He's a great CEO. They're a great company. They've got a great user base, and they need to double down on their revenue growth. You don't want to have, revenue growth in the high 20s or mid 30s at that stage. Otherwise, you can't be. I mean, few companies have really had the opportunity to be the next Google over the last decade.
Yeah.
Facebook has the opportunity to be the next Google. But if you want to be the next Google, you're going to have to grow more than 30%. You're going to have to really accelerate it, and they're going to need to look at what are those revenue opportunities in the product.
Yeah, okay. Salesforce is still very active in investing, not just acquisitions, but investing as well. How many investments has you said?
A lot. We have done a lot of investments, and we've bought about 25 companies.
And when you invest, do you look for strong strategic fits, the possible acquisitions down the road? What are you looking for?
We're looking for a lot of different things. One, we're looking to make money. Two, we're looking to amplify our own strategic requirements. Three, we're looking for talent and people who maybe don't want to get acquired, but we want to have a place in the future with them. Yeah. So there can be a lot of different reasons why we get involved in a company.
Okay.
Yeah.
What else do you want to talk about?
I don't know. How are you doing? In your new life,
I'm great.
Post TechCrunch and everything.
Yeah, no, it's good.
Where do you see yourself over the next year?
Well, I got fired last year.
I know.
And
how has that been for you?
It was a bit of a bummer for a while, but it's better now.
What was the most painful part of that for you?
The getting fired part was the part that was most painful. And then the fact that they no longer paid me every 2 weeks was.
Are you still carrying the pain, or have you let it go?
Oh, I never hold a grudge, so I'm more of a, even-tempered kind of guy.
You are?
Yeah, no, I have nothing, no.
I noticed that when I hired Steve Gilmore in the headline you wrote.
Yeah, I love Steve Gilmore. Yeah, so he still works with you?
Of course.
Because you hired him away from TechCrunch, which kind of pissed me off a little bit.
I know, I'm sorry about that.
Yeah, he still does the Gilmore Gang every week.
Yeah, he's fantastic.
Yeah. And but what else? Are you enjoying life other than the Fiji trips? And I mean, you're getting back to Hawaii quite a bit. And what are you doing?
I live about a third of the time in Hawaii. I've done that now for more than a decade. That helps me to take some time off to rebalance myself, to clarify my own vision and focus. These jobs tend to be big burnout jobs, when you're running a fast-growing company, and you need to constantly kind of replenish yourself. You need to be kind of rebirthing yourself all the time. And I use Hawaii, as a vehicle to do that. It's really important to me.
Are you on a schedule? Like you have set months you're there, or do you just we need to go to Hawaii?
I mix it up quite a bit.
Yeah.
And then if I need it more, I'll take more time. If I need it less, I take less time. And then I try to do things, in Hawaii that I don't have the opportunity to do here, paddleboarding or swimming in the ocean or something to get my mind off the track. I'll give you an example or how I got to this. My grandfather was actually a trial lawyer here in San Francisco and also was a supervisor in the city of San Francisco, and he also created BART. So if you go into the Embarcadero BART station, you'll see this big plaque with his name on it, Marvin Lewis.
His name wasn't Bart? That would have been cool, right?
That would have been good, but it wasn't BART. BART is Bay Area Rapid Transit. Anyway.
I totally knew that, by the way.
I know you didn't.
Yeah.
But let me tell you something he once told me. So he was an amazing trial lawyer because he had a photographic memory. So he went into court. He never really took a note. He never had to write anything down, which I don't know how people do that, but he did it. And so he would get confused, though, about where he was or how he was going to win a case. So he said one of the most important things is to always he would go to a movie the night before the courtroom so that his mind could just relax and he could come up with some new ideas. And that's what Hawaii is for me. It's just a time to kind of come back and rebuild and then get creative again.
Who was it? Ellison that just bought the Hawaiian island?
Larry Ellison did. He just bought Lanai.
Did that piss you off a little bit?
As long as he's not on the island that I'm on, it's okay with me.
That's a good quote. But did you think
I'm
about?
glad I could say one thing that entertained you, Michael, during the interview.
I kind of want you to buy an island. That'd be kind of neat, right?
I'd rather honestly do other things.
Like build hospitals. That was what I was sort
I
of
get
leading
more
in.
pleasure.
Building hospitals and buying islands? Yeah. All right, well, hey, good luck next week.
Thank you, Michael.
Yeah. And
I'd like to invite everybody to Dreamforce. We're going to have an amazing conference next week. We have a free Expo Pass available online. If you go to dreamforce.com, you can sign up. And as part of that free Expo Pass, you can go through a full day with Tony Robbins on Friday. And
so for
it's
free,
totally
you can
awesome.
walk on the coals with Tony Robbins?
Free on the coals with Tony Robbins.
Thank
for
you
you,
so
we're
much.
going to have extra coals.
I can't wait.
All right.
Thanks.
Thank you.